Hi guys, Katawa Shoujo. Yeah, I'm gonna sit here and record like 5 episodes in a row now, so that I finally don't have a point where I find myself without, like any videos to upload at all. Which is like the situation I keep finding myself in, which is horrible. But yeah, there we go. Okay, so last time we were... I don't even remember what we were doing last time. I think it was... Rin... Oh, yes, this is the start of chapter 2, isn't it? Okay. Here we go, then. Very beginning of chapter 2. It's already 8:30, but this morning's class has not yet begun. We were supposed to have physics, but the teacher is nowhere to be seen. Had I known this beforehand, I would have slept in too. Suddenly, the classroom door slams open, and Muto grunts his morning greeting to us from the doorway. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How's it going? Where is she? Where is she? Muto looks like he's not slept at all, and that he's also Batman. The stubble, his messier than normal hair, and the stained dress shirt create a less than favourable impression. I guess he had fun last night at the festival too. Oh yeah. Excuse me for being late. I ran into unexpected problems. I'm usually no one for festivals like this. I hope you all have a good time. You've given these people everything. You don't have to give them anything else. No, not everything. Where is she? After all, these school sorts of events are important for you, or since they give you a short reprieve from schoolwork. The class replies with various degrees of enthusiasm, and Muto whatever. How'd you pretend to take roll and get started? Right then, today's subject is photon particle physics. Before long, I have descended into a comfortable coma-like state, along with the rest of the class, letting Muto's rambling speeches pass through one ear and exit the other without leaving a trace. Now, what's the solution to the problem? He's written a rather essay question on the board, but desperately he tries to get the class to participate. Nobody? Come on, guys. Nagi, how about you? Fairly singled out and cornered, I give him an answer. It causes his shaggy features to twist into a genial smile that would scare little children's senses. Oh god, Batman's smiling? I'm smiling. I'm filled with an overwhelming sense of hope, like a burden has been lifted off my shoulders. That's happiness. Whatever it is, I like it. Precisely. Good work, Nagi. I'm both disturbed and honoured by the fact that Batman can remember my name only 1 week after I transferred here. From what I've seen, Batman has serious trouble remembering the names of anybody else in the class. And most of them have been here since the first year. The room settles into a dreary mood, students and teachers alike trying to get back on track after the festival. I figured last week we must have been frantic for everyone. Not a minute too soon, the lunch bell rings. Lunch bells ring. Lunch bell rings? The lunch bells ring. Make way! Important business! I actually did try to record this before, but it failed because I didn't have enough time. So I know this bit. I know who this is, so, I turn my head just in time to see other people scatter out of the way as someone charges from the far end of the corridor towards the stairwell. Oh, God! Sorry, that's what happens when you when you've recorded stuff before and then have... Oh, God. And then accidentally hit skip. I turn my head just in time to see other people scatter out of the way as someone charges from the far end of the corridor towards the stairwell. Too late to realise that I'm standing in the middle of the corridor, directly in the way of oncoming human projectile. I try to skip back towards the doorway. Fortunately, the person running towards me dodges in the same direction. In the following fraction of a second, several things come to mind in sequence, yet almost simultaneously. First, I recognise the girl who is on collision course with me is Emmy. Second, I realise that it feels somehow very natural to be tackled by Emmy once again. Oh, he loves being tackled by Emmy. I can feel almost comfortable, if not for the reflexive panic and terror. Third, Emmy seems to be carrying a foot-tall stack of papers while running in the hallway. She crashes into me, but at least the impact was a grazing one on my arm this time.
Owie, why does this always happen to me?
Oh, I'm in that kind of mood. I'm in mood that I know will annoy people, but I don't care. Remember, guys, we're trying to make Emmy seem as attractive as possible. I know she's doing the puppy dog eyes. Gee, I wonder, could it be possible? Could it possibly have anything to do with you running through the corridor like you were on fire? She whimpers regretfully like a hurt puppy. The sight makes me regret my snappish comment the very instant it emerged from my lips.
But I was in a hurry.
I can tell.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it. Emmy wails weakly one last time and rubs her forehead as if to expel the ache while her gaze sweeps over the hallway floor. Oh god, I can imagine with one of those little holes in the neck, what they're called. Oh god, I can't remember the name of them. As she notices her neat stack of papers spread all over the floor in one big mess, she lets out a horrified yelp. She's turned into Joey's manager from Friends.
Ah, the printouts. Oh no, what am I gonna do? Teacher will give me hell if I get dirty.
They're probably fine. Let's gather them back up. It won't be a problem. We quickly round up the papers, and Emmy tries to sort the scattered pile in her hands back into the orderly stack it was.
Where are you going?
Nowhere in particular. God, you sound weird, Emmy. I guess. Didn't want to be left alone with Muto in the classroom. I think he has a hangover.
Have you eaten lunch?
Not yet, but I'm not feeling very hungry anyway. She looks at me incredulously, as if doubting my sanity for letting such a thing out of my mouth.
You haven't eaten lunch? Oh my god! Are you insane? You should go to the roof. I promised Rin I would eat lunch with her. I bet she'd like the company.
Oh. My lunches of Rin have been remarkably unsuccessful. I'm pushing my throat a bit too much here. After this meeting goes, I'm stopped doing that voice for a while. I'll just bring it back up when you least expect or want it. I know where this conversation is going, and it's hard not to get drawn along, so I have my little choice but to play ball. Okay, I'll pick up some bread for something first. Emmy smiles brightly before I say anything further.
No, I'll go deliver this super quick and then go buy lunch first. And Rin too, of course. What kind of bread do you like?
Bread? What kind of, I like bread. Brown bread, white bread, other bread, yellow bread. Can I have some blue bread, please? It's fine, you really don't need to.
Don't worry, it's alright. Consider it an apology. I'll be back before you know it.
That's what I'm worried about. Don't go get into another accident. Emmy starts walking down the hallway, but since she's still talking to me, she isn't watching where she's going.
I won't.
Famous last words. She's already jogging down the stairs as she shouts that not-so-reassuring promise back to me. Sighing quietly, I start plodding along in her wake, but instead of taking the stairs down, I climb upwards. Blah, 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 plod, 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 plod. The stairwell to the roof is unlit and just as creepy as it was before. Someone should replace all the music in this game with the Spanish Flea song. The door squeaks weakly in protest as I push it open. Rin is there too, like Emmy said, lying on her back at the other end of the pebble-covered rooftop for some reason. Predicting something unnecessarily strange again, I walk to her as slowly as possible. Hello. She sounds very drowsy as she says that. I like doing Rin's voice, it's really fun. Stretching the end of the word with a slurred voice. Despite that, her eyes are wide open. I look down at her, my shadow overlapping her face. What are you doing? Rin raises an eyebrow. I thought you had a heart problem, not an eye problem. She answers, challenging the rationale of my perfectly valid question without tilting her head to look at me. Rin's smart-ass comments are infuriating. The worst thing is that I'm not sure if she's doing it on purpose or not. I don't think she is. I think that's just... she didn't realize it. Alright, let me rephrase. Why are you lying on your back on the rooftop? She gives a lazy shrug and sniffs dismissively. Oh yeah, the voice I was giving her last time, someone correctly pointed out, I must have been thinking in my head. You know that Luna Lovejoy? Is that the one from the Harry Potter films? The one that plays her? She does a really aloof character voice. I think that was what I was thinking of when I was doing that voice. I always liked that voice. I always liked the voice that she did. I thought it was very spot on. Very good at being like sort of just completely out of it. I'm trying to experience... People probably don't do this enough. I always do that when people, what exactly are you trying to experience here? I can't really tell, but there's probably a reason people don't do whatever. She's playing dodgeball with me again, answering my attempt at small talk with riddles. I don't want to puzzle out. But I don't want to ignore her either. Yeah, but the reason is that everyone is too busy with their lives to pay attention to the really important things. Like watching the sky? She tears her gaze away from the sky and finally looks straight at me. The penetrating deepness in her eyes once she focuses on something is startling. You know, if you were a girl, I could see your panties. If I was a girl, I wouldn't come this close to anyone who tried to sneak a peek at my panties. I'd have that much confidence. Okay. You want to look at my panties? It's super tight panties, okay? You can't have them. I wouldn't either, but sometimes it can't be avoided. Like now, for example. To tell the truth, I don't even really want to peek at your panties, though. Underpants are the soul of a girl. You shouldn't peek at someone else's soul, even if you are not a girl. Really? Panties are the soul of a girl? That's the first time I've heard that one. As a guy, I guess I can understand that. To us, there's some sort of half-mythical object that we can't quite comprehend. Speak for yourself. I'm not sure... What? What? What does that even mean? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's exactly how I think about them too. What a coincidence. Really is. So, did you have world history in the morning class? I skipped class. To do this? Well, I'm not actually doing what it looks like I'm doing. Or at least, I think that what I'm doing is not what it looks like I am. What it looks like. But, from your perspective, probably. Yeah, I skipped class to do this. I guess whatever your reason is, it's as good as any. Giving in to the tired feeling in my legs, I sit down on the roof next to Rin. The pebbles are not the most comfortable bed in the world, but if she can stand it, then I should be able to as well. What are you waiting for? Try it. Try it. Try what I am doing. Please be trying what I am doing. I am not a robot. This is how I talk. I bend my neck backwards to take a look at what she's looking. I can't know. I can't say that. Sorry. I'm not even tired. Just this makes me yawn. The silvery blue sky, dotted by herds of cloud sheep. It's cloud sheep. Fills my field of vision entirely. While it's pretty, the view is nothing special, even though the weather is fair. I give a shrug, trying my best to imitate the nonchalant manner with which Rin seemed to have evolved to perfection, and lie down on my back. The stones poke at my back through my thin shirt whenever I shift my weight even a little, forcing me to keep as still as possible. PC's pretty quiet today. I try to ignore the discomfort and myself, instead concentrating on the vastness over us. Far above, the summer clouds drift soundlessly across the dome of the sky. Neither of us has anything more to say, thus silence covers the rooftop. The subdued noises of students on their lunch break, cicadas in the trees, and traffic buzzing past the school are humming pleasantly somewhere in the background. Listen, I had a great time yesterday. I had a really great time yesterday. Did you? Well, no. It was shit. Well, to be honest, no. But it was alright. It was probably the longest time I've ever sat in one place without doing anything, which is kind of impressive. I try to make it sound as convincing as possible. Is that impressive? I think it is. I'm usually too restless to do anything like that. I think I had a good time too. A cloud passes above us, casting its shadow on the school. A chill surges through me from the sudden change of sunlight to shade. I realize that summer is not in its full bloom quite yet. The only measure of time passing is the slow pace of the clouds moving towards the town. Stray beams of golden sunlight leak through the gaps, blinding me for a moment, whenever they hit me directly in the eyes. The blue of the sky looks so unreachable. It reminds me of the time I spent in hospital where I was bored out of my mind on a daily basis. Somehow it didn't matter after a while. I learned to appreciate other things besides watching TV and gossiping with people I didn't even like. A comprehensive sensation of... Oh, he's such a good guy. A comprehensive sensation of calmness spreads from my sight to my other senses, finally hitting my brain. An airplane zooms by, leaving two thin contrails in its wake like a pair of chalk lines, drawn from one end to the sky to the other. I wonder where it's heading to. The low din of its engines carries all the way down to my ears, although it's barely audible over the racket from the quad. It's nice. It's nice. It is nice. It's nice. But I don't understand why this is more important than going to class. Isn't it good to do something you like? Every once in a while? Of course, but...
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Emmy has snuck up on us without even noticing, and is only a step away from me, holding several packages wrapped in plastic film in her arms. She leans forwards and peeks over me, overshadowing... Careful, you might see her soul. Overshadowing my face almost exactly the same way I overshadowed Rin before. I wonder how weird this looks, the two of us lying on our backs on the rooftop. That's what I asked, too. I'd be more concerned about what you are doing. If I were you, I wouldn't come that close to people who could see your panties. Rin! Emmy's voice is scandalized, but she quickly takes a step backwards, pressing her hand against the front of her skirt. Damn! So abruptly that the parcels of bread she was carrying fall on my face. I quickly avert my eyes and glance angrily at Rin. She pretends not to see me. Hisao isn't like that, right? Yeah, she is. He's a terrible, disgusting pervert. He's the lowest of the low. Yeah, right. Emmy scowls at Rin and crouches down to pick up the packages. She wipes the dust off them and skips lithely around to Rin's other side where she sets herself down. Anyway, here's your bread. Sorry it took a while. That's alright. Thanks for treating me. I pull myself up into a sitting position and gratefully accept the bread Emmy is offering. All three of us ravenously dig into the simple meal. The bread is surprisingly decent and readily fills my stomach. It readily fills my stomach. I follow from the corner of my eye the skill with which Rin handles her bread between her feet. I haven't seen you on the track in a few days. Oh, yeah, right. I figured it was too heavy a routine for me to start with. So you've been doing something else? Yeah, I've been, getting some cardio, you know, in the shower. I've been considering my options. She frowns, but doesn't pursue the issue further, for which I'm thankful. Emmy seems pretty headstrong, and I wouldn't really want to get pestered by her about this on a daily basis. I have enough burdens to bear with Shizune and Misha already. We barely finished lunch before the bells ring, calling us back to our classrooms. He-chan! Misha waves at me as soon as I see it. Like, that voice will be with me forever. And starts talking before I can even make my way across the classroom. How was your festival? Did you have fun? Oh my god. Still somewhat undecided on that. I'd say probably. Why? Just asking, just asking. Her eyes glint in a way that tells me she's not just asking. I can't even start to guess her motives, though. As the well-timed entrance of the English teacher prevents us from talking further, Misha falls back to plan B. I was there all day with C-chan. We had a lot of fun. When are you supposed to be doing work? Don't worry, everything went really well. I don't reply to that. She leaves me alone after Shizune demands her attention. My own attention on this. It's weird. Misha leaves to pop up like a lot in each other. Well, a lot. All like there for a lot of people's. Like she's sort of this weird. I don't know. She's like this weird. I don't know. It's really weird. I don't know. I don't know. They have her there. This weird like anchor or something like that. She's almost there to sort things out, like with Emmy's one as well. My own attention, on the other hand, is directed out the windows. Now that I look at her from here, through the window and the foliage just outside, look at it from here. What is wrong with me? I keep adding words or changing words. The sky seems smaller. I catch only small glimpses of blue. Everything else is a clatter of noise right in the middle of my field of vision. What experience did Rin want out of the staring at the sky? Surely she's done it before. Everyone has. It's no use trying to guess her mind, but if I don't do that, then I have no excuse for not concentrating on the teacher's words. Ooh, pardon me. I look at the scribbles appearing on the blackboard, trying to figure out their meaning with little success. English really is not my favourable subject. We have a strong mutual dislike for each other. Thick, steamy. Dickens. Thick, hot afternoon light invades the corridor, making the air feel heavy and lazy. My body feels weighed down by it as I drag it 2 doors down the hallway to the art classroom. Maybe this is part of the reason why I didn't join any clubs before. Afternoons just aren't suited for activity. Hey, okay, what we got here? Let's have a look. Let's take in the sights. We've got person missing an ear. We've got... I don't even know what that girl's doing. Somewhat almost dodgy positioning for her legs there. Guy with shades, possibly blind. And girl with, what is that, a baguette? I knock on the door of the art room and open it. A girl who was possibly doing something important with the scroll of paper. Oh, scroll of paper. She's carrying turns to reckon me and smiles in a sweet, if but confused manner. Whoa. Jesus, just came out of nowhere. Hello? This is the art club, right? Yep. You interested in joining? Yeah, in fact, I might already have done so, but we'll see. I give her a weak smile, and her own widens a notch, making me feel less nervous. Why can't I have her as a choice? Great! Have a seat then. We'll start when the teacher gets here. She gets the generic female voice. Oh, there's a guy who's definitely trying to sneak a glimpse of the girl's pants, and someone who's dead or asleep in the background. Without even scouting the room for a good spot, I walk quickly to the back of the room and set myself on a free seat, apart from everyone else. A few other members are lounging in their seats waiting for the teacher. Rin sits alone in a window seat, looking outside. She's the only person here that I know, although a guy I've never really gotten along with from my own class is here too. Did you fight him? Nobody else comes to greet me. Maybe introductions are left for later, or maybe because you just went and sat at the back of the classroom. So I just let settle for silent observation as well. One boy has sunglasses on, an odd sight indoors, were we not at Yamaku. I'll bet he's the blind student Rin was talking about. The wait proves to be extremely short. Oh god. Nomiya walks over to stand behind his desk in 3 long strides, then gives a smile and a flamboyant greeting. Good afternoon, everyone! First things first, Hisao there's a new member, so everyone get along with him, or I'll beat the shit out of you. He winks at me unsettlingly. All 8 members of the club, including myself, answer his greeting with considerably less enthusiasm. Still, people finally straighten up in their seats and begin to pay attention. I think some of you still have projects to work on, so please continue with those if you like. As for the rest, I was thinking that today we could do some rough studies. How does that sound? Nobody answers except with some unintelligible murmurs, which Nomiya apparently interprets as unanimous approval. Alright everyone! Alright then! Everyone's out working on other projects. Choose a partner and draw a sketch of one another! You should be able to complete this today, but if not, we can continue it next time, or even if you do it again to find it interesting. Yes. Remember to pay attention to lighting and shadow and give it your best! Pairing up? I feel pretty awkward about it, hardly knowing anyone here. Wish someone would just ask to be my partner. Or go to Rin. People stand up and move their chairs closer together, but nobody comes to me. Pretty soon everyone has paired off. Friends team up with each other, but I'm left alone. Well, there is Rin. She's sitting in the furthest corner of the classroom, still staring out the window and seemingly uninterested in taking part in the exercise. Why didn't he just go and sit next to Rin in the first place? Since she's the only other one without a partner, I walk to his seat. Hisao has the leprosy and no one wants to go near him. Ha ha, Hisao's got leprosy. La, 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 la. I can't see her face because her hair is covering most of it and she's looking away from me. Rin? I call out to her, no response. Hey, wanna partner up? You're the only one I know here. She seems to finally acknowledge my presence, head turning like a robot as she looks to see who's addressing her. Rin doesn't answer, and I don't want to repeat the question, either. I'm sure she heard it the first time. Why doesn't she say anything? It can't be such an awful fate to be paired up with me, can it? She doesn't look at my face, and instead stares directly at my chest and stomach. Oh, okay. Why not? Okay, good, great. I'll get the stuff for us. Feels so enthusiastic. Looking at the equipment Nomiya has prepared for today's Nomiya, I have no idea. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but I don't care. Has prepared for today's meeting confuses me. Instead of graphite or pencils, we are apparently supposed to do ink sketches. I've not done anything like that before. The teacher, however, seems confident in my ability to adapt to this medium. Simple! Just stick it in and just go wild. What? What? No, nothing. First you do the outlines in ink, you let them dry, and then you shade of the diluted ink. This is called India ink. It works like watercolors. If you're uncomfortable with it, use a pen instead of a brush for the outlines. Got it. I pick up paper, water cups, and one pen for me, one brush for Rin, and ink for both of us, then return to Rin. Grabbing a vacated chair from nearby, I seat myself opposite her. Do you want me to do it with my foot or my mouth? What did you say? Whoa, are we talking about art here? Cheeky foot jobs? What? She tilts her head, her brows forming a questioning arches as if she doesn't understand that I didn't understand the question. I don't mind drawing either way. You look better if I do it with my foot, though. With your foot, then, if it's all the same to you. Nodding in answer, Rin gets up from her seat and kicks off her sandals. In 2 fluid motions, she picks up the paper sheet and drops it on the floor, then snatches the brush between her toes before sitting on the floor in a weird half cross-legged position. Although I've seen her do everything with her feet already, from eating to painting, this display of dexterity is so prodigious. It kind of sounds like prodigy, like oh my god, prodigious. That I stare at her stunned. Like, I'm sure it's something to do with prodigy, like, she does it so well, like I don't know. Rin contemplates her black paper intently. The sharp tip of the brush hovers over the papers in anticipation. I'm going to blow my nose. When she raises her head to see if I'm ready, I quickly turn my face away. I'll go first. Make a pose. What kind of a pose? It doesn't matter. That's the point. You have to make the sketch of the impression you get, not decide beforehand. I am just sitting in my chair, my hands hanging limply between my knees. I look at her. She looks at me for a moment before beginning. Rin's stare is piercing, but impassive, as if she were trying to absorb a part of me into her own self. I feel like I'm physically shrinking under the pressure of her gaze. But we'll find out next time what she paints, because I'm going to end it there, and that'll be that for episode 80-something of Katawa Shoujo. Thank you for watching. I have been Millbee. This has been Katawa Shoujo, and I will see you next time. Okay? Goodbye.